profile. But before we even get to the profile, I just want to give some tips on the header, because a lot of times when you're scrolling through profiles, you notice the picture, you notice the name, and you notice, the one sentence kind of little glimpse of what you have to say in your body of your profile. And I think it's really important to write a header and to choose a name that's unusual and creative and different, because if you sound like everybody else, then people don't really think
they're not going to pay attention.
They're not going to pay attention. It's you don't come across as special. Like, you really want to take a position in your header, especially because if they don't have interest there, then they're probably not going to read the body of your profile.
Right.
So really, it's important to spend some time and
the name sometimes is difficult to choose a name that's good because you're out there on websites that have lots of other people, and sometimes it's difficult, and you end up finding a name that's like Redhead 542, and that doesn't say anything very special about you. So the headline in that regard is very important, that you pick something that's either reflective of who you are or reflective of what you're looking for. So you can do kind of that sort of thing. Gary's was, I don't know if it was his header, but I think it just was interested in dating and finding a long-term relationship. It's not bad, but it's pretty generic. So what he really needs to do is talk more about himself, fun-loving guy looking for a travel companion.
Right. And I just want to go back to that. I call that peanut butter loving, because by that I mean that, you know what? Everybody loves peanut butter. I love peanut butter. Do you love peanut butter?
I do love peanut butter.
I bet you love peanut butter too. So if you put a statement like peanut butter lover looking for peanut butter lover, then you're going to get the entire world, and you don't really want that. So it's really important not to put those peanut butter statements, to really distinguish yourself and to really say to yourself, what is it that I want to express to the world?
Right.
And you know what?
Sets you apart.
I think we have a tweet.
Okay, great.
Just give me a second. Let me read this tweet. All right. Tracy, you said not to have the generic peanut butter stuff, but I don't know what to write that doesn't sound like everybody else. That's a great question. That's a really great question. And one thing you may want to do is start to pay attention to, what do your friends compliment you on?
That's a great one.
What do you like to do during the day? If all of a sudden you looked in your pocket, you had a free day, and you had $1,000, what activities would you want to do? How would you want to spend it? You may also want to look around your apartment and really notice, like, what are your hobbies? What are your interests? What do you feel passionate about? Do you have 25 dogs? Do you, I don't know what it is.
Must love dogs.
That's right, exactly. What is it about you that's different than everybody else? And also, what is it about you that's positive? Again, you're always about putting your best foot forward, especially in the beginning.
Yes. So, unfortunately, a lot of times we sit down to write these profiles when we're in a really negative mind frame, and I wrote an article about that on my blog, but you don't want to do that. You don't want to sit down and write your profile and say, I can't believe I have to go to online dating, or I really hate this, or I don't know what to say about myself. So many profiles have those kind of statements in them, and they don't really, all they say is negative.
Right.
And you don't want to make yourself sound negative. You can say negative things about what you don't want, but you don't want to sound something that makes you sound like a negative person.
Right. So maybe you want to sit down to do your profile maybe on the time that you set aside for writing your profile. You want to maybe do something before that really puts you in a good mood and makes you feel happy and healthy and fun and confident and natural and all those other wonderful things that you want to be feeling.
Right. Yes, definitely.
All right, so Gary's profile.
So the next thing that Gary did after he kind of said he was interested in dating and finding a long-term relationship is he said that he would describe his lifestyle as, and then he went into a whole string of adjectives about simple, free, healthful. He does talk about not smoking cigarettes, drinking alcohol. That's great. Doing drugs.
Go, Gary. We support your healthy lifestyle.
Yes. I love running, exercising, the beach, outdoors. There's just so many things that's just one string on top of another. All of those things that are going to be somewhere else, like most dating sites have a section for hobbies, put all those things in your hobbies rather than just recapping them in your profile. Okay.
And I would even add to that you may want to take, Gary, you may want to take a few in particular activities that you really truly love and expand upon them. So maybe for the riding your moped, which, maybe you can say what kind of moped it is, and on really hot, beautiful days you can find me riding my moped while racing to go to the...
Watch the manatees or something.
Exactly.
Something you enjoy.
Thank you. You know, whatever it is, but really take one individual or,
Yes.
you know, 2 or even 3 activities is probably what I'd recommend. Like 3 specific activities that you really feel passionate about and give them a sentence. So that way someone can just get a little glimpse of what it's like to get to know
Yes.
Gary McCarthy.
Right. Now, Gary also, he put in capital letters, I love to travel. Awesome. Using capital letters for things like that really says, I really do. It's not just a, you know, a little afterthought. He's saying,
it's
I
worthy
definitely
of
love to
pressing
travel.
caps lock.
That's right. And he goes on to say that he would love to do some extreme sports activities such as skydiving, scuba, zip lining. So that really talks very much about what his personality is. So he's done a very good job in that regard. I would take out all the adjectives and commas, but go on with the rock on with some of the other statements that you've got there. He says he's single and ready to begin looking for someone that's a friend, a lover, a partner. Again, you're talking about what you're looking for. Don't be afraid to say what it is you're looking for, and I think that's good. I would say maybe be more specific than that. You know, specifically talk about you're looking for someone who likes to travel. You're looking for someone who enjoys the ocean, you know, that sort of thing.
Right. And I would also add that Gary does have a little bit of peanut butter words, and by that I mean he says he's interested in someone that's funny, intelligent, open-minded. You know, I think everybody considers himself funny, intelligent, open-minded, compassionate. Yes. So, yes. But then he also adds that someone who's interested in self-improvement, spirituality, someone who's responsible. So, you know, self-improvement, either interested or you're not. Spirituality, either you're interested or you're not. So I like those words better because they really are more specific as to what's important to him and the person that he's looking for. And I think those are great.
Great. Now, he ends it with saying, thanks for reading, and I look forward to hearing from you. And you refer to that as a call to action.
Yeah, call to action.
That.
I love it.
Think of your profile like a sales letter. You want to end it with a call to action. You know, if you like what you hear, send me an email.
Right.
You know, I would love to talk to you, or something along those lines that says, you know, hey, yeah, okay, if you think I'm all right, contact me. You want to be positive, and you say, if this sounds like you, call me. What are you waiting for?
Right.
You know, think things like that.
Right. He does. One thing that I would encourage him to take out is he actually shares one of his faults. And I think that it's very honest of him, and it shows his honesty. But you know what? They don't need to see your faults right now, Gary. Yeah. I say take that line out.
Yeah, I would agree with that. There's
need.
There's nothing in your profile that needs to talk about negatives. Now, we also have just a minute or so to talk just a second about, we had a woman and who didn't want us to talk about who she is. But her profile, she started out with, I'm a 5'3" green-eyed blonde. Okay, well, that's one of those that's taken care of elsewhere, so don't describe yourself physically when you've got photos and a place to do that. And she used a lot of what you called the peanut butter sentences. I enjoy getting dressed up and going to the theater, but I'm equally comfortable in jeans. So, again, you just want to kind of stay away from those sorts of things. So we've got a lot of suggestions on hers that I hope we've covered.
Right.
As far as talking more about who you are, what you like to do, and try to stay away from the things that describe you physically that you've already got, and the things that sound like everybody else.
Right. So just to recap, stay away from the peanut butter sentences. If anyone else has those sentences, or if everyone else has those sentences in their profile, take them out. Don't put any negatives. No one needs to know your faults. When you do describe what you do like, really make it specific so that people can get a real taste of what it's like to be involved with you. So I think those are some of the most important points. Make sure to have at least 3 photos: a face photo, a body photo, and a personality photo.
And a great headline.
And a great headline, a creative, unusual headline. Tammy, thank you so much. Tammy, again, is the creator of Over35Match.com, a great website. And
thank you.
And I think that's it. On my next show will be Gia Pace. She is a real-life New York City single looking for love. Thank you so much for calling. Thank you to the callers. Thanks to the tweeters. And thanks
to our contestants who participated in our contest.
Yes. Happy dating.